I've got some fittest flat earther must-sees, but I do have to warn you, he does believe in depths of Satan.
Aw, the Pope died. You know what this really means, don't you? It means that Welsh actor Jonathan Pryce got sick of playing the role and he's going to take on a new role. Don't believe me? Well, here's a clip from a video I did months ago. There's Jonathan Pryce and there's the Pope, and here's a side-by-side where they are perfectly symmetrical. But the beautiful thing about this video, it was before I started looking for my smoking guns. So guess what I found? But before we get to those smoking guns, why don't I show you a little TV clip from these guys? You know how they like to tell us the truth. Right in plain sight, right? Well, here's that TV clip. Just to mock us like they always do.
Congratulations, you just got nominated for a Golden Globe for your performance as Francis in the two parts. It's fantastic. Now, was it fated? Was it just destiny that you would play this part eventually? Because even before this movie existed, everyone said you looked like Francis, or Francis looked like you.
Yeah, he looked like me.
You were famous first.
Yeah,
you were famous first.
Yeah.
Because here's you, in case people don't know what you look like from seeing you there. And here's Francis. Come on.
Come on, people.
No.
Come
Obviously, you moisturize and he doesn't, you know. But that's
no, it's a big surprise because that's not who I see when I look in the mirror.
Oh, really?
No, I'm more Brad Pitt in the mirror.
Yeah, sure.
Funny how, of all people, they mentioned Brad Pitt. More truth right in plain sight. This was literally the easiest smoking gun I have ever found, because it's just him in a fat suit. And look at this, like, they don't even disguise his face. It's literally just him with, like, fatness. And look at this here. I'm gonna circle it. The exact same blemishes on both of their faces. Exact same. And their exact same nose. They don't even change his nose. Jonathan Pryce in the dead Pope. I mean, people just go type in Jonathan Pryce looks like the Pope, and this is how dumb they know we are. Because we are this dumb, because all of us fall for this. I know I fell for it at one point, but once you wake up, you see they're the same person. It's time to wake up. But you guys know I'm just kidding. I know that poor Pope Francis lost his life yesterday. Tear. Do you see my video I did last week on this guy, the new Pope? And how he kind of resembles somebody almost as much as I resemble someone. That's Lieutenant Dan, otherwise known as Gary Sinise, and they both just happen to be from Chicago. And well, Gary Sinise has some news for us. Gary's taking a leave from Hollywood because his son tragically died at the age of, can anyone guess it? I bet you can. He died at 33. What an amazing, shocking, mind-blowing coincidence. I don't know why, but his break from Hollywood kind of reminded me of someone else's break from Hollywood. Do you remember this guy's break? Jim Carrey's taken a break from acting. I've done enough. You remember that? You can hardly even tell. There's two different faces there. I wonder if the real reason Jim took a break was to just play a bigger role they didn't want you to know about. Kind of like Gary's probably taking a break to play a bigger role they don't want you to know about. And well, Jim came out of retirement to film Sonic the Hedgehog 3, but he's going back into retirement, and he says to focus on his spiritual life. I think that's a clue, because I know exactly how these people operate and exactly how they tell us the truth and smirk about it in real life. And well, it just happens that Jim Carrey does a JC, Jim Carrey, and who else has that initial? JC. I wonder, maybe someone who is put on a cross to look like that. And in every single movie he does that pose. And then he says this.
I wonder if I could do that with other people. I wonder what would happen if I
decided to just be Jesus.
Look at that smirk. Watch this. I did some posts on this months and months ago on how I think there's going to be a fake return of Jesus because Jesus already came back. We're living in Satan's short season where Satan's released for a little while. Look up Revelation 20 verse 7. Anyway, I know it sounds ridiculous, but I think he's going to play the fake return of JC. And well, for any of you newcomers out here to my content, this is really where I got my start, other than exposing flat Earth. So let me catch you up. Let me just show you some of Joe's falls. And look, even the hand timing. Every time he falls, there's a suspiciously similar fall from Jim. I'm just going to let you watch this because I haven't played these in a long time. And there are probably a lot of you out there that just found truth that haven't seen these. So watch the timing of the hand wave even. And now this is one of my favorites coming up here. Do you remember when Joe just happened to fall off a bike? Could it look any more like Jim? And well, I'm going to leave you with my piece de resistance of all Jim Carrey and JB. This is him in a uncut one walk from Air Force One, or whatever that was, a helicopter maybe, to Air Force One. And watch the timing of this. Watch the completely intentional timing of arm up. And I had to piece a few of his movies together, but this is one, and they just happen to exactly match. Exactly match. Joe's walk. And if you watch this and you think it's just a coincidence, then my friends, you're not as awake as you think you are. Look at even the timing of the hand. Watch this. There's no mistaking. That's Jim Carrey. That's Jim Carrey. If you can't see that, well, you're still in the Matrix. Really still in the Matrix. So I'm just going to let this play out here and then give you my normal line. But of course, I know, even down to the color blue and the red carpet that he just ran up that was in the red carpet, and that red carpet's not normally there because I've been to that hotel, that this is for entertainment only and pure coincidence. Just like it's pure coincidence that they're both from Chicago, they're both Eagles fans, both have foundations and spend a lot of time in the Philadelphia area, and both speak Spanish, and that them putting that number there is obviously just a coincidence. I literally just said that at the 5:33 mark of this video. Must be a coincidence again. Entertainment only, people. And it's not going to be the 33 mark because I'm going to go edit it, but I literally saw 5:33 there. No, I'm not a Freemason. I hate Freemasons. I despise Freemasons with a passion. Entertainment only. Do you know Uncle Pappy? You know, this guy who's a dead ringer for Robin Williams? This guy who has over 1 million followers on every platform and is probably raking in the dollars. Well, why don't we hear what not Robin Williams has to say?
The time has come for me to address these conspiracies about me. I'm sorry to say, but I am not Robin Williams, folks, man. I see all these damn comments, all these hilarious conspiracy videos, man, and it makes me giggle, but it also breaks my heart. Because Robin Williams is one of the greatest shining lights in our world, and we all miss him a lot, man. And the fact that I could bring a little joy to your life in a similar way means the world to me. But I also got to say, we got to honor Robin Williams' legacy. Don't let it be tainted by anything that I might do or say. Let him stand on his own. Let his family appreciate him on his own. Don't bring me into this, man. I'm sorry. Let me be me. Let me be Pappy, brother. I'm Pappy. I ain't Robin Williams. It's okay. And if you think I was Robin Williams, it's not your fault. My impression was too good. It's not your fault. It's okay. But please, man, let Robin Williams live in peace, man. He was a beautiful man, and let me be me.
Oh, and just in case you couldn't see what I was pointing at there and here, well, let's take a closer look. Oh, it's an all-seeing eye. One that he used to wear. And funnily enough, doesn't wear anymore once I brought attention to it.
He speaks about Robin Williams having a hand with an all-seeing eye on it, his necklace. But what necklace are you wearing? Let's take a look at that. I've never seen a cross like that. That kind of looks like a Galaga spaceship or Thor's hammer. What's interesting about a hammer is it has Ham in it, like Haman's 10 sons, like the Nuremberg trials, 10 Nazis were hung, and Haman, like Abraham. In the Book of Enoch, it talks about Semjaza, like green eggs and ham, Dr. Seuss, and unclean pork.
And did you hear what he said? He said, let Robin Williams live in peace. Not rest in peace, live in peace.
But please, man, let Robin Williams live in peace, man. He was a beautiful man, and let me be me.
Sure, Uncle Pappy, I'll let you be you if you can explain to me how you just happen to have the exact same moles on your shoulder as Robin Williams. Oh, but that's not it. That's not it by a long shot. Why don't we take a look at the facial region and look at how there's two very specific dots. And this one's a little harder to see because they try to get rid of them. But trust me, there's a big one, a big old little liver spot discoloration that they both have. Why don't you explain that to us, Uncle Pappy? Why don't you explain that to us? And we'll let you be. You see, what some of you still don't realize is that I don't do this unless I'm sure. I'm not doing this for the clicks and the views. And what some of you also don't realize is that these people aren't in the witness protection program. They're not hiding because they're good guys. They've changed characters, or they're hiding because they're liars and deceivers. And people like Chris Cornell or Pat Tillman or Chester Bennington, these guys weren't trying to expose anything and then they put them in the WITSEC. No, they're just evil effing liars. Just like him. Just like him. Exactly like him. And him. So I would encourage you all to stop letting this guy take your money by being a deceitful, lying son of a gun. But that's just an opinion of one man, a guy sitting here with nothing to hide and who is honest in every aspect of his life. So maybe I'm different. Maybe you guys are okay with him making money off of lying to you. But I'm not, so that's why I do this. And also, hopefully, it causes you to dig deeper and realize that where you live isn't even where you think you live, and that we're in a spiritual realm and that God is real. And hopefully you figure that out because you realize you're being lied to. Just dig. Just dig a little, and all the answers are there. You just need to dig and not sit there and be told what to believe on the TV because the TV said it's true, so it's true. Okay, do some digging. Entertainment only, of course. This is just my opinion. I know that Robin Williams, he was sad and took his own life, and we should all sit on our couches and be sad for him because he's gone. Entertainment only. If I were Bruce Lee right now, I would be that worried because I'm about to expose him for the absolute fake fraud hero that he is. And I didn't misspeak and you didn't mishear me. I said hero because this is Gene Ho and this is Bruce Lee. This is Gene Ho and this is Bruce Lee. Down to the exact same hairline. The eyebrows and the eyes and the nose and the mouth are in the exact same alignment. And if you're anything like me, you have no idea who Gene Ho is. Well, up until at least a month ago, I had no idea who he is. And let me just show you. He is the personal campaign photographer for that guy back in 2016. And well, he has some interesting things to say about what that guy should do now that he's reelected.
Hey, check out this idea I had, and I don't imply anything from this. I have to say this again. I'm not implying anything with it, but this is a law that I think Donald Trump should sign into law if he should become president again. And I think it's a pretty good idea. Imagine if Donald Trump signed into a law something to the effect of that anyone who ever faked their death in the past can come back and not be harassed at all. The media couldn't contact them. People can't contact them unless they want to talk to them. They could just come back and live a peaceful life. But the thing is, and again, I'm saying I'm not implying anything, but think about how wonderful this could be so that it extends to anyone that wants to retire from a certain profession.
What a strange law to think about. I mean, why would anyone ever think about that law? I mean, why would he think of it especially, I don't know, maybe because he knows some things that I know? But Tyler, Bruce Lee was an authentically skilled fighter from Hong Kong. They just used him for the movies because he was so good at his craft.
Just look right into the camera lens right here and tell us your name, your age, and where you were born.
My last name is Lee, Bruce Lee. I was born in San Francisco in 1940. I'm 24 right now.
And once again, like they do with a lot of these guys, they like to muddy the waters and add things like that in there so you don't get to the real truth, which is that he's part of the club just like all the rest. And well, if you've made it this far and the facial symmetry and the voices and the fact that he literally was born in America and raised in America and just went over to Hong Kong for a little while doesn't do it for you, well, you know what I'm always coming with. And it's that one and these two. And they're faded because they probably tried to get rid of them, but they're there, those two. And trust me, there's more. Well, let's go just scroll over and look at these identical nose markings. Here and here, let's see, right there, and right there, or I guess it's that one. And right there, and right there, and there you have it. Not speculation, research-backed, evidence-proven fact. Fact that this has all been for entertainment, and he shouldn't be worried at all because God rest his soul. We lost a good one, a good hero back in the day, and well, I'm a satire account, entertainment only. Anthony Bourdain, we lost him in 2018, but you know what really pisses me off? That right there. They gotta just stick a fork in you and make you feel bad for him. Well, I'm going to show you that you shouldn't feel bad for him. Not at all. Let's first start by looking at how Anthony Bourdain had a very strong connection to the United Kingdom, particularly London. Well, you know who else has a really strong connection to the UK, particularly London? That guy, right there. And if you don't know who that guy is, don't worry, I didn't either. But he's Sir Keir Starmer, and he just happens to be the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom. And thanks to my buddy Josh for pointing this guy out to me and telling me to explore him, I couldn't help but notice how similar their chin angles were and how their noses both kind of like shifted this way a little and even kind of dress alike, almost like that was intentional. But let's look closer. Like I said, their noses even kind of sway in the same direction. And let's see what happens when we push their faces together. Look at that. The hairline is an identical match. And the eyebrows and the eyes, all a perfect symmetrical match. Wow. I wonder if there's more. You guys all know who Anthony Bourdain is, right? And that he's a chef. Well, I couldn't help notice the little Freudian slip that he made. You'll hear it.
I call again for an immediate ceasefire in Gaza. The return of the sausages, the hostages.
Excuse me? Baking powder? Did he call the hostages sausages? Oh yeah, I bet that was unintentional.
The return of the sausages, the hostages, return of the sausages.
If only I could find something where they were moving similarly. I don't know. Maybe there's someone somewhere out there that could help me find something where they move similarly that I could help you guys see that maybe it is the same person. He faked his death and became this because all the countries are one. But I mean, maybe if I can't find similar mannerisms, maybe someone out there can help me find some similar birthmarks. Almost like those were kind of tried to be removed. But 2 birthmarks, I mean, that could be coincidental. But 3, now we're getting somewhere. Now we're really getting somewhere. You just put some colored contacts in and throw on some glasses and voila. I mean, voila. I bet there's more though. I wonder if there's more. 3 could maybe still be a coincidence. And if I had a giant scar there, well, I'd try to correct it, but it's hard to correct all of it. Little remnants there. And let's go on. Don't let these colored contacts throw you again. Look at that exact line and exact line, even with a mark in it and a mark in it. And you can see a remnants there that used to be there and one up here that used to be there. But of course, all this is for entertainment purposes. People, I know that celebrities don't think their deaths and become other people, especially not politicians. I mean, politicians are all stand-up people, and we really vote them in. They're not selected instead of elected. No, I'm a satire account. This has all been for entertainment purposes, and even look at the exact same chin line like I pointed out already. Hairline. Entertainment only, people. I'm sure we really lost Anthony Bourdain, who used to be an expert in the United Kingdom area where he could just probably rattle off all these awesome places to visit and even eat. Entertainment only, people. Come on. Now, while I would love to talk about the predictive programming of that song, we're going to get into something a little different, because I think it's just a little too soon, even for me. We're going to get into this guy, Stevie Ray Vaughan. Stevie Ray Vaughan, who died on his way to Chicago in a helicopter crash. Stevie Ray Vaughan, who looks a lot like Tommy Lee Jones to me. And hey, they both have that 3-name name. Tommy Lee Jones, Stevie Ray Vaughan. Well, and like I said, Stevie died in 1990. I wonder when Tommy Lee Jones got famous. Tommy Lee Jones gained widespread fame in the 90s. How interesting! But not only that, but for his Oscar-winning performance in the movie The Fugitive. Does anyone remember where The Fugitive was shot? Oh, that's right. In Chicago, where Stevie died. But this is my favorite part of it all. Do you know who Stevie Ray was a big fan of? He was a big fan of Jimi Hendrix. And he used to carry this photo around with him of him with Jimi Hendrix. Kept it in his wallet. It meant a lot to him. Well, you know who Tommy Lee Jones is pretty good friends with? He's pretty good friends with Morgan Freeman. They've done some movies together, in fact. Like this one called Just Getting Started with Tommy Lee and Morgan Freeman. You know about Morgan Freeman, right? How he used to be Jimi Hendrix. How Morgan Freeman used to be Jimi Hendrix. How Morgan Freeman used to be Jimi Hendrix. And Tommy Lee used to be Stevie Ray. But I know how you guys operate. You don't believe anything even after I show you smoking guns. So I'm going to show them to you just to get you 1% there. But look how similar those noses are. They're both crook. It's crook this way. Yeah. And they have the same little like spiral in their monobrow. But believe me, there's more. Because their symmetries are identical. Watch this eyebrow just smooth on over. And that eye just smooth on over. And the nose and the mouth, identical symmetry. Identical. And well, here's 2 different pictures. Look how they're both fond of those cowboy hats. And well, his face is turned a little bit and it's still perfect. Yeah, they touched up his nose a little bit. They still got that crook going this way. But like I said, I know what you need, even though it's not going to get you there, but I'm still going to give it to you. Let's take a look at these right here. 1 and 2. 1 and 2. And obviously that and that. Doesn't get much easier than that, people. It really doesn't. Maybe the easiest smoking guns I've ever found. Bammo. But of course, all this is entertainment purposes. I don't really think that Morgan Freeman was Jimi Hendrix, and I definitely don't think that Tommy Lee Jones was Stevie Ray Vaughan, even though they have the same exact birthmarks on their face and love cowboy hats. And he got his first start in a Chicago film, and he supposedly died in Chicago, and he was friends with Morgan, and he's friends with Jimmy, and they're supposed to be each other. No, they don't do this type of thing. They don't ever fake deaths in Hollywood or the music industry. Definitely not. Definitely don't do it to manipulate your mind either and cause you to think you're looking at someone and you're really looking at another person, and it controls your mind where you can't even tell reality from illusion. And they definitely don't do it so much to distort your mind so much that you can't even trust your senses. Because someone who doesn't trust their senses, well, they have to appeal to the authority figure. And for most of you, the authority figure is the moron on TV telling you to do one of these or to go in a box and vote for one of the lesser of two evils. I could just keep going on of why they do it. It's to control you. And it works because most of you turn on the TV and you idolize these people. You idolize them, and that's what it's really all about. They want you idolizing them. The athletes, the movie stars, the musicians, the entertainers. Idolize them. Look at them on TV. Appreciate what they do. Worship what they do, because as long as you're doing that, you're not spending time worshiping the one entity that you should. The Heavenly Father. Jesus. Come on. It's time to figure it out, people. Of course, all this is for entertainment purposes, though. I'm just a satire clown, and so he carried around a picture of him, and now they're good friends. That's just a coincidence. Entertainment only.
There's always real cheese in a mousetrap. The devil lures people in with some certain truths, but then tries to trap them with other lies, like manifesting reality how you want, and all these mud fossil university lies, like super giants that made up the mountains, mocking God's mountain, etc. So you have to have wisdom, knowledge, and discernment. And as some people say, you must eat the meat and spit out the bones. Revelation 6:13, then the stars of the sky, like the fallen angels in Hollywood, fell to the earth like green figs falling from a tree shaken by a strong wind. Revelation 6:16, mountains fall on us. And so it seems like the fallen angels try to stay in power by faking their deaths and then coming back, or quote-unquote resurrecting, as a different person with a different role to keep people from knowing that they aren't aging, and they try and shape society and cultures how they want them to be against God. Repent. All the fallen angels are trying to do is shape the world how they want them to have people worship them, like Caesar Flickerman on the Hunger Games, Caesar like Trump being shot on Caesar's birthday on July 13th, like Flick in A Bug's Life, they call movies flicks, using mass sorcery to control people's minds, just like their drugs, Abaddon.
What do these look like to you? And these, and these, and these, and these, and these too. Oh, and let's not forget the statue of Elvis. What do they look like? They look like wings, right? They look like they could be angels' wings, in fact. Don't you think? I mean, when you really think about it, it literally just looks like he's an angel with wings. And yeah, you could say it's a cape, but most capes I see come down all the way. These are spread out like angels' wings. Well, have you ever seen me talk about this statue found in a 2,000-year-old tomb that has wings as well? And hey, that face kind of looks familiar, doesn't it? Even down to those sideburns. I mean, when you really look at it, it looks like Elvis with his wings. And I'm not kidding. Look, the hypogeum of the voluminous family dating back from the 3rd century BC. This was unearthed recently. And here's that statue, that angel statue with a very familiar face and sideburns. And I found that interesting, especially in light of this picture that a friend of mine sent me with this face and these angel wings put right into the side of this very old building. You see, those are angels' wings, right? Why don't we take a closer look at that face? I mean, if that doesn't look like Elvis, again, down to the sideburns and that very well-known hair, why would Elvis with wings be in the side of this building? And why would the original Statue of Liberty face look just like Elvis? And this ancient Babylonian king statue look an awful lot like Elvis. And again, this Roman statue with its nose a little chopped off, but if it had its longer nose, you would see again down to the sideburns and foof. It looks a lot like Elvis. Well, have you ever heard the Bible verse talking about don't neglect to show hospitality to strangers, for by doing so, some people have entertained angels without knowing it? Basically, what it's saying is angels can take on human form, where you could be in their presence and you wouldn't even know. And have you ever looked at what angels' names end with? E-L, 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 Abaddon, E-L, E-L, E-L. But Elvis couldn't be an angel, especially not a fallen one. Angels don't exist. Well, have you ever heard this story from Elvis's friend?
He said, let's go outside. So we went out there, and we're talking and everything, and he's just being quiet. And all of a sudden he says, son, you see that light over there? And I look over and see a light off over in the distance. I said, well, yeah. I said, plane. He said, I said, oh, okay. But light's coming closer and closer and closer. I'm waiting for the sound of a prop or a helicopter or a jet engine. I'm waiting for some sort of sound and say, no, Elvis, it's a plane. There is no sound. And it's getting closer and closer. And there's a tree line there around the golf course, and it just kind of went and disappeared behind the trees there, and I still am not hearing a sound. He says, go in there and get Jerry. So I went in the house and got Jerry, and we come back, Elvis not there. We start calling for him. He's not answering. Jerry said, where'd he go? I said, I don't know. And I told you, I said, there was a light he wanted you to see that was coming from across the sky that went over in here and everything. I said, you go up one side of the house and I'll go up the other and we'll go out and see if he's out front. Went out there, he wasn't out there. Now, folks, I got to tell you, I'm young at that time. I'm about 26 years old. I'm starting to think, what is going on here? Because Elvis had acted weird sometimes, you know, moving, making bushes quiver and move and clouds form and dissipate.
Did he say Elvis could make clouds move and dissipate? That's funny because you know what the Bible talks about? Angels sometimes associated with the ability to influence or manipulate weather phenomena, including clouds. But back to the story about this normal human being.
So we're hollering out there, and all of a sudden I hear this voice. I'm down here, guys. And we look down, he's about 3 houses down in the driveway. So we hurry down there to him and everything. What are you doing? What are you doing down here? He said, oh, nothing. He said, that light, they're gone. I said, who's gone? He said, they're gone, but they'll be back. I said, okay, I'd like to meet him, Elvis. You will. And he was serious. He said, you will. We went back up to the house. I talked with Jerry. I said, yeah, I don't know what he's talking about. It was like, he said, well, son, it was a plane. I said, Jerry, I got to tell you, there was no sound. There was no engine. There was no noise. I was in the Air Force. I know what airplanes sound like. And there was no sound. I don't know what it was. Could have been a dead stick plane, you know, engine dead or something. But it came a long way with no engine. But that we didn't talk about it anymore, and he didn't bring it up. I never asked him, did they come back yet over the years?
You still think humans come up with technology, and it's not all just fallen angel technology slowly dripping back to us? That's cute. You know what, though? 2 years ago, I would have thought this was absolute rubbish. That was when I thought I lived on a spinning ball and evolved from a chimpanzee. But now I know we live in a spiritual realm, and angels and fallen angels are very real. And hey, I couldn't help but notice this little hand symbol Elvis used to do before performances. Kind of reminds me of someone else, but I can't quite place it. Maybe it will come to me if I keep thinking about it long and hard. You know, if I were a fallen angel and I wanted all the people to worship me instead of the Heavenly Father, why not do it twice under two totally different personas? But of course, all this for entertainment purposes. I'm sure that these dots right here on both of them, just a coincidence, and I'm a satire count. And these aren't wings rubbing it in your face with the truth right in plain sight. No, it's just fun, decorative, for funsies cape. Entertainment only, people. So I had to pray on this one. And when you see the answer I got back, I don't think there's going to be any doubt that I'm doing what I'm supposed to. You see, there's a gentleman on the YT platform who has been warning about the coming June 11th for a long time. And he has come up with a lot of predictive programming and numbers to show that something drastic might be coming on June 11th. And it all has to do with the state of Washington. And as you can see here, his proposal or prediction is that there is going to be massive flooding, and it is going to leave the state of Washington looking like Elvis. And what you can see here is it's in the shape of Elvis. And I believe what he is saying is that literally only the shape of Elvis is going to be left, and the rest is going to be massively flooded, especially around Seattle. So here's his account on the YT, and I didn't even notice that I captured this at 11:11 until right now. But I'm not a fearmonger guy, but I want to show you his stuff and let you know what he talks about, just in case you want to hear for yourself. And here he is.
All right.
Now, let me first start out by saying he is the only other person that creates content that I have ever seen that draws a comparison of you-know-who with you-know-who, kind of like I do. Only he doesn't think they're the same person. He draws the connection that one is a false representation of Jesus, and I believe the other is a false representation of the Antichrist. But he doesn't draw the comparison that I do, that just says that they're both the same, and one faked his death and became the other. I've proven that a lot with facial markings, especially around here, and I'll show you later. But here's what I want to show you about me praying on it. First, I just happened to wake up this morning and check the weather in that area. And what I found is that there are two tropical storms converging with each other, heading up, it looks like, to that area. But not only that, there's a third system heading that way as well. And I literally just finished a video about how these guys are feuding about the big, beautiful bill. And the big, beautiful bill can mean something else as well. BBB can looks like 666, and how they love their numbers, him being the 45th president, which is 9, and the 47th, which is 11, and Revelation 9:11 just happens to talk about Abaddon, Abaddon, and they all love their 6666666, and how liberty is actually Lucifer, and liberty is actually Lucifer, and how Lucifer is actually but don't take it from me, take it from Elvis's brother himself. Listen what he has to say.
How do I answer that question? Personally, the Elvis I knew would like Donald Trump's action. But I think, people say, in America, if you like Donald Trump, you're an atheist. You're Satan. I personally...
Again, let me just put this in plain English. The Statue of Liberty is actually Lucifer. Down to the chain, down to in the Big Apple, there's literally an apple in the statue of Lucifer. Down to the looks, down to the original face being Elvis, because Elvis is Lucifer. I mean, you can see it in their hair. You can see it in their symmetry, even down to their little facial marking. I mean, it's a perfect match. They just sucked out a little bit of thickness out of those lips. But most importantly, you can see it in their facial markings. And I'm going to show you another one after this. Right here. Look at those two. How are those two any different than those two? They're exact, right above his lip. Right above his lip. Now getting back to me praying on it, and something very large coming on 6/11. And we know how they like their 9/11. Their 9/11 revelation. 9/11, kind of like how Elvis's brother had a revelation. And Garo's account is all about 6/11, which is just 9 flipped upside down, and about Washington State. And he draws, like I said, the connections that I do of these two and these two. So here's what happened when I prayed. I literally went outside after I prayed to let my dogs out. And this was a cloud right in front of me. Maybe you don't see it, but I saw it pretty clear as day, even down to the hair in that strong jawline. So like I said, I'm not a fear guy, but I felt compelled to post about this. And if you're in any of this area on June 11th, I'd have a high ground plan, if you understand what I'm saying. But of course, all this for entertainment purposes. I'm sure he's only put in literally multiple years of nonstop research to help people see this for entertainment purposes, just like I'm an entertainment account. And I definitely don't think that he is the same person as him. No, that's just...
Well, if the fallen angel Satan was actually Elvis that turned to Trump, then the evil one is the one who made all evil things. Satan made pedophilia. Fallen angels fell and took wives. Cake plus plane equals CP child predation. The satanic height of worship is one's own birthday. Well, the baker was killed on Pharaoh's birthday, John the Baptist was killed on Herod's birthday, and Christ died on his birthday, like birthday cake. What was Trump incriminated for? A birthday card to Jeffrey. And so they had this plane cake that he cut with a sword, like, planes flying to elite bunkers underground, just like in Revelation it says. And Geneva, the seat of Satan with the World Health Organization, the United Nations, in Pouilly, France, has Apollo's temple that Trump worships, Apollyon in his Manhattan apartment.